Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a challenge that every single leader faces, but one that has some serious weight in the high-stakes world of healthcare. And that's feedback. Giving it, receiving it. It's a conversation that can make anyone a little uneasy, no matter how long you've been doing this. So this topic actually comes directly out of the ongoing work we're all doing in the Culture Coalition. We're taking a closer look at the art and science of feedback, and we're pulling some amazing insights from the book Thanks for the Feedback by Douglas Stone and Sheila Heen. It's a real game changer. I want you to just think about your own training for a second. As physician, nurse, and APP leaders, right? We spend so much time learning how to deliver feedback. We practice how to phrase it, how to get the tone just right. But what if, after all that effort, we've been looking at this whole thing completely backwards? Okay, so let's start here. Before we even talk about solutions, we just have to admit a fundamental truth. These conversations are just plain hard. For everybody involved, it's a universal problem. And I mean that literally. Research from Sheila Heen at Harvard is just undeniable. When they asked people all over the world, in every industry, to list their toughest conversations, feedback shows up 100% of the time. So this isn't some unique healthcare problem. It's a human problem. The thing is, in our world, the stakes for getting communication wrong are just so much higher. So for years, what's been the solution? Well, you know the drill. We focus on the person giving the feedback. We've all been to the workshops, right? How to be clearer, more constructive, more effective. And yet, the problem never really seems to go away, does it? So if training the giver isn't really the fix, then what's the alternative? Well, this brings us to the core idea we're exploring today, and it's a big one. The real power in any feedback conversation lies with the receiver. They're the one who's truly in charge. You see, the old way of thinking puts all the pressure, all the responsibility on the person giving the feedback to get it perfect, but that model completely overlooks the most important person in the room. And here it is. This is the idea that just flips the whole script. The person with the real control isn't the giver. It doesn't matter how well they deliver the message. Nope. The power is with the person on the receiving end. Think about what that actually means. The receiver is the gatekeeper. They're the one who decides what information even gets through the door. Then they decide how they're going to interpret it, what story they'll tell themselves about it. And finally, they're the only one who can decide if they're going to change. You can't force it. The receiver holds all the cards. Okay, so if becoming a skilled receiver is the real secret, what's getting in our way? Well, it turns out our brains have these predictable, automatic reactions that can completely shut us down. They're called triggers, and there are 3 of them. First up is the most common one, the truth trigger. This is that immediate gut-level reaction where your brain just goes, "That is not true," or "That's terrible advice." Our first instinct is to fight the content itself, to prove it's wrong or unfair. Next, we have the relationship trigger. This is when our focus shifts completely. It stops being about what they're saying, and it becomes all about who is saying it. Our history with that person, our trust in them, how they're treating us right now, all of that suddenly becomes more important than the message itself. And finally, there's the identity trigger. And this one runs deep. This is when the feedback feels like it's not just about what you did, but about who you are. It threatens our sense of self, our core identity, and that can knock us completely off balance, making it almost impossible to hear anything. So how do we actually manage these things, especially that really common truth trigger? Well, it comes down to a really conscious shift in our mindset. See, our default setting is what they call wrong spotting. We're like a heat-seeking missile for anything that's even a little bit off, so we can throw out the whole message. The goal is to move to different spotting, to get curious and just think, we see this differently. I wonder why. So let's bring this all back to your role as a leader. Because understanding this stuff isn't just about making you feel better when you get feedback. It actually gives you a massive advantage in leading your team. This Simon Sinek quote just nails it, doesn't it? As leaders, our job isn't just to talk. It's not about checking a box that says feedback given. Our real job is to create an environment, a condition where our team members can actually hear what we're saying and feel safe enough to grow from it. And here's the payoff. This is where it all clicks into place. The path to becoming a better giver of feedback starts by becoming a master receiver. It's a 3-step process. First, you get really good at understanding your own triggers. That self-awareness gives you genuine empathy for what your team goes through. And that empathy is the secret sauce that lets you shape your feedback so it can actually be heard. So, what's one thing you can do, like tomorrow, to put all of this into action? It's not some big, complicated program. It's actually just about asking one simple but incredibly powerful question.
Just think about everything this one question does. Asking for one thing makes it feel safe and manageable. Asking what's getting in my own way shows your focus on growth, not blame. It signals that you, the leader, are a learner. And when you do that, when you model how to receive feedback well, you start to build a culture where feedback isn't a threat anymore. It becomes what it's supposed to be, a gift.